Hi guys, it's Jake here from Canadian Cutting Edge. It is Miscellany Monday and I've got another tool from BigIDesign. This might be their most popular tool, I'm not sure. It should be because it's an awesome tool. This is their titanium pocket tool, also known as simply TPT. And I wonder what it's made of. Category 5 titanium, that's an aerospace titanium. It's nice and light. It's got a number of features. I've taken the part of it out. I'll show that to you later. But here we've got nut drivers. I think there's 15 different size nuts that it'll drive, give or take. I'll give you the exact number later. Metric and standard. It's also got a little pry tool or a flat or standard driving tool there. Another hex nut driver there. A little bit of paracord here, and it's made of titanium, and it also works great as a package opener, and I'll show you why and how. And it even has one secret little, well, it's not a secret, but it's got one other cool little feature that who knows, someday I might even use it. So if you're interested in a tool that'll take a standard razor blade and it can drive nuts and do all kinds of other stuff, then stick around for this full review. Really nice tool. Let's start off with what's optional. The leather sheath is optional. You can save $10 by not accepting the leather sheath. It's a very high quality sheath. The way they've put it together, it's done very well. Great stitching, and they've cleaned up these edges and buffed them, and it's a really nice piece of leather. The main tool goes in the big section here. I usually do the side that's got the paracord on the side where the notch is. Push it in there, and it's sitting there. You can just pull it out easily with that paracord. And I believe it comes with both of these tools, and they can just be stored in this pocket right here, and you can easily see if they're in the pocket, and you can push your thumb in there to help push them out. There's no super sharp edges on these. It's not that they are, they're not so sharp that they're going to cut, but they are sharp enough in a sense. They're good enough to be used as tools to open packages. What we have here is a button of sorts that if you hold it and you push it, take a look right there. You can see that space opening up right there. So that opens up to relieve a spot that goes into one of these three holes. So you push this in, and it doesn't want to go, so you open that up and it'll catch. It's in the middle one right now, or the first one, second one. And so you can lock it in a position where it's just slightly open, or hide it all the way away. You can use it on this side, which is the secret little tool. That becomes a fork. Titanium is totally hypoallergenic. There's not a single human known to be allergic to titanium. At least that's what I've heard. So you can use this thing, as a fork if you've got nothing else for your lunch, stick it in your, whatever you've got for lunch. But the way I'm going to use it is this way. Lock it in place. Actually, I'll do it on the second last one there. Lock it in place. You can use that to open packages. I had to zoom out to get this all here. So to open a package, it's not sharp to the touch, but it's sharp enough for this kind of plastic. You just poke it in the tape. Oh, gotta do these edges here too. Ta-da! And you get nothing out of the deal. Aww. Opens packages very, very well with almost no risk at all of hurting yourself. Not bad if you ask me. It's quite a bit safer than using, a razor blade or some other kind of blade. Although a razor blade can fit in there no problem. It's only got 2 notches instead of 3, but it's still going to work just fine in here. You just have to be careful. Put it in there. It locks in place, and you can tuck it all the way in, and it's safe. It's locked in there. It's not coming out, and the tip doesn't poke out the edge there. The guys at BigIDesign say that most people actually use a razor blade with these. And yeah, it's going to take less effort with a razor blade to cut through tape or whatever. And you might be wanting to cut through some other stuff than that, and that's just fine. So it's your choice if you want to use the tools that come with it or if you want to use a razor blade. So other than the fork and the corner to open tape, you can also use this as a scraper on that side. If you needed to, scrape something off, there's nothing here to scrape, but if you can see, I'm actually pulling off a little bit of powder, some sawdust right there, just by sliding this over, and it's not a sharp edge. If you have to clean off, gum, dry it on somewhere, something stuck on the bottom of your shoe or whatever, here's a neat little tool that you can use to, get underneath that kind of stuff. So many different uses. And let's just take this all the way out for now. Look what I got here. There's so many different things that you can do with this thing. I've got your flat driver here. It's also a large driver, and it's easy to drive a screw with that. And you can tighten it up quite tight. Here's another one. This one's a bit tighter. It's going to be harder to turn. This screw is very old and it's messed up on that flat there, so it doesn't work the best unless I'm careful. But I wanted to do sort of a more like a real life scenario instead of a brand new pristine screw, and you can make it work. You can also make it work by using the nut driver. So like I said, you've got different sizes. You can see, hopefully you can see if I've zoomed properly, the line that's cut through here that accepts this tool to slide through there. On the one side is standard, and on the other side it's metric. So all kinds of different nuts you can drive. I had taken another tool and I'd tightened these 2 nuts against each other, and that's how easy it is to undo it. They're not super tight right now because I don't have that other driver with me, but even if they are tight, it just fits very, very well, and it just grabs in place, and you can tighten and loosen nuts if you need to. So if you live in a scenario, if you have a scenario in your life somewhere where you might need to drive some nuts, that tool is awesome. It'll do 15/64, a quarter, 17/64, 9/32, 5/16, 11/32, 3/8, and 7/16. It'll also do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 millimeter nuts. Not bad, eh? So that's pretty cool. And this here is a 1/4 inch. That's why they didn't have a 1/4 inch back here. It's put together with Torx screws, so it's easy to take this apart if you needed to. If you got some kind of gunk stuck inside there or whatever, and you had to take it apart, not a problem. It's 3 inches long, 1 inch this way. It's 4 millimeters thick, which is 0.157 inches thick. It weighs 9 ounces, 24 grams, or 42 grams and 1.5 ounces if you add the leather in. How much does it cost, you say? Well, it's not cheap. This is highly machined titanium. It's $69 US if you're buying it with the leather sheath. If you don't want the leather sheath, $59 US. Is this thing worth $60 or $70? Well, it all depends. It might be worth it to you. It might not be worth it to the next guy. I know that on this channel, I generally do more budget things, but I contacted BigIDesign and they sent these items to me to review. And I'm I'm totally enamored with this thing. I don't think that I would pay $60 US for this, partly because it's just not my style to carry something that's more expensive. But I can see I've got a friend who's going to love this. And who knows, I might just give it to him. I might sell it to him. This is something he would carry all day long, and he'd show it off to his friends, and he'd like to brag about it and things. And but he'd pay $60 for this, no problem. $70. It's exactly what he would like to have. So you have to ask yourself, is this something that you would like for that price? Can you get something else that can do these functions and stuff? Sure you can. But that's not what the question is. The question is, do you want this device to do those tasks with? So if you say yes to it, the only place to get this is BigIDesign. Now, is it worth this price? In the marketplace for titanium pocket tools that do all of these kinds of functions, this isn't a high-priced item. You can find titanium pocket tools that do these kinds of tasks, and they generally cost, 50% to 100% to, 150% more than this tool does. You can find these pocket tools, double this price all day long, 50% more, easily find them at that price. You're not going to find a titanium pocket tool made in the United States of this kind of quality for less than this very easily. You might, but it's not going to be very easy to find them. So just because it's worth it doesn't mean it's worth it to you. So you ask yourself if it's worth it to you, and if it's worth it to you, there you go, go get it. If it's not worth it to you, keep moving on and get something else. You could attach this to a keychain. You can put it in your glove box. Just if you use this part all by itself, take the paracord off and leave one of these tools in here. There's a lot of wallets that will accept something that's 4 millimeters thick, and you can just have it sitting in your wallet, and when you need it, it's there ready to go. So many different ways of carrying this, and once you have it, there are so many different uses that you will find that you have for this, especially if you work in a place where you're opening packages a fair bit. Not only that, you can also use this as a bottle opener. It's got that nice little tooth right there, so that goes underneath. Open up your brewski at the end of the day. Not bad. A whole lot of features on here. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to get one of these, you just have to go to BigIDesign.com if you're in the United States of America. Any other country in the world, go to BigIDesign.co and just leave it there, hit your enter button. Free shipping anywhere in the world if you want to buy this. And shipping usually, to a lot of countries is nasty. So same price as everybody else pays, no matter where you live. Get this shipped to your place, and you'll have a very high quality little tool that can do an awful lot of little tasks and big tasks. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and all that other good stuff. And remember, always cut towards your chum, that is the other guy, and not your thumb.